Howdy, folks. I'm 7 laughable lords, leaping like lazy llamas.
I'm Amber.
And here are more lazy llamas for us to leap like laughing lords, or laughable lords. Folks, I'm gonna have a confession. We don't have the budget for 7 leaping lords, so we'll just have to have tea instead. Alright, folks, and our first letter is titled, Am I a Jerk for Having My Husband Cancel His Solo Vacation? I will go anonymously so that our families cannot read this thread. I am a 44-year-old woman and my husband is a 44-year-old male. And we have been married for 15 years and we have 3 children, 6, 9, and 13. We both have good jobs and we do not have money problems at all. So this is not about how he spends. My husband always loved outdoor activities. He spends a lot of time doing his activities, and this has always been a continuous topic because he tends to lie to me or to his boss to do so. It went as far as him pretending to go for a business trip while I discovered that he was going skiing. My birthday was 3 weeks ago. He told me that he had some important work calls to make. I celebrated alone with my kids, but I discovered that he was actually going to the swimming pool instead of being at home with me. I was very mad and very sad. I was trying not to cry while celebrating away with my adorable kids. On Monday, he told me that he would leave for 3 days to go on a skiing trip by himself from Thursday. He pretended that it was a last-minute decision, but I know that he had booked it out for a little while without telling me. He told me that he was super stressed and that he needed a break from his job. We are going as a family for a skiing trip in 10 days when the kids are off of school. So it looks to me that he really wants a break from his family. I gave him an ultimatum. I say, if you go by yourself, this is the end of our marriage. I was so mad that he would organize such a trip just after my ruined birthday, when he was supposed to work on changing the dynamics. He canceled, and he's very mad at me. He's not talking to me, and he's not going to work to show me how ridiculous it is for him to have to stay at home. He could work. This is not a mandatory vacation at his workplace. He accuses me of just having him stay just for revenge. Am I the jerk for having him cancel the activity that he loves? Edit 1, thank you for your comments. Obviously, I've thought about marriage counseling and separation. After the birthday incident, I've been clear that we had to change the dynamics and start therapy. I do understand the comments about leaving him. I do not need him for anything material. This is more about trying to stay together as a family. My post was specifically on the vacation cancellation question because whatever the outcome, I do not want to make things worse at this point because I'm just hurt. I am trying to set limits for my own sanity. To be clear, he has a lot of time for his activities, probably 20 hours a week on average. When he discusses them properly with me, there is no problem with his going on solo trips, but probably not as much as he would like. I do not believe he is a cheater. This is not a problem that I have here. All right, folks, what do you think?
No, OP, you're not in the wrong. It sounds like your husband doesn't want to be a partner or a father. 20 hours a week for activities is a lot for a parent. It's 20 hours a week he is not spending with his family, and if he's spending 40 hours a week at work, that's half as much time as he at work during the day. And on top of that, he had the audacity to deceive OP repeatedly about his intentions so he can get even more time for his activities.
Yeah. Well, first off, what I want to say is that he gets no presents. Santa Brian strikes again. 0. None. He got his present already. He got his solo trip while he was supposed to be celebrating your birthday.
Well, that's the other thing, is he doesn't seem to have any consideration for his partner at all.
Like, this is just kind of absurd. Who does that to their partner? It's like, I'm going to go spend an entire day by myself so that I don't have to hang out with you on your birthday. There's something deeply wrong here, and hopefully marriage counseling can get to the bottom of it, but for now, he just comes across as a real terrible person.
Right, like, it doesn't seem like he has any regard for anyone but himself, and if he doesn't get to do his hobbies for, all his free time, then he's gonna sulk and be like, oh, how dare you not have me go on vacation when I told you last minute.
Yeah, well, and then there might be some mental health issues that he's having. Maybe he's struggling with mental health. Maybe he's struggling with depression or something like that. But it's still not certainly an excuse to do something like this. And I think that if he is struggling with some mental health issues, then he needs to go ahead and talk to a therapist and try to work on things. But his approach here to trying to get out of celebrating things comes across more as him just trying to not spend time with his family.
Well, it seems like he just wants to be single, but with the benefits of having someone to clean up after him.
Yeah, that's what it seems like. But let me know what you folks think. So anyhow, take care and good luck. Lady Lyrande says, not the jerk for the particular question since you specifically asked about it, but it didn't accomplish what you wanted. He stayed, yes, but did he? It seems that he's spending all his time that he would have otherwise spent skiing, making your life miserable. The condition after your ruined birthday was to change the dynamics. Trip or no trip, this event proved that he isn't interested in that. Or he would have apologized for forgetting that he had booked this one in advance, canceled, and worked on his relationship with you and the kids by doing family activities instead of moaning and whining and trying to prove a point by staying home instead of going to work. Also, if he lies even to his boss about those trips, I wonder if there's something deeper at play, like he actually doesn't have a job and he's lying to you that he does, or that he's addicted to something like gambling and he's hiding it, or that he has an entire secret life somewhere because his behavior is far from normal. You don't hide sports trips like this from family and work unless it's a cover story for something else or maybe a type of addiction. And OP replies, thanks, this is actually a very helpful comment. Yes, I think that he has an unresolved mental struggles, including sports and adrenaline addiction. My view is that he needs professional help, but so far he has not agreed to get any. With the birthday incident, he has started to be more open about it, but I'm not sure if it was only so that he could have a free pass on his ski trip. So I'm not sure if this was genuine or manipulation at this point. Actually, that's really interesting context here. If he's a adrenaline junkie and he feels like he has to constantly have like his adrenaline rush in order to be normal, there are people who do struggle with stuff like that.
Certainly there are, but like he needs to talk to someone, you know. I mean, it could be something like ADHD that you need the dopamine hits, and like so doing things exciting can help people get that dopamine rush, but like again, there are tools to manage because you can't just like abandon your family and take off and do whatever you want all the time.
No, I said it explains why he's doing it. I didn't say it justified it.
No, I know.
Right? He still gets no presents. So I think he needs to go to a therapist. And if this is the wake up call that he needs, like with any, substance use disorder or other, disorders, there's a certain tipping point when you realize that you actually need professional help because it's interfering with your life. It's interfering with his work. And that's really what this has reached. That's the point that this has, because now he's making excuses. He's lying. He's covering up his tracks. And those are all, signs of someone struggling with something like an addiction, right? And he probably feels like he can manage it. He's got this just fine, but he doesn't, right? He's ruining his life about it. Alright folks, and our next letter is titled, Am I a Jerk Because I Refuse to Cook for My Boyfriend Again? I'm a 28-year-old female, and I've been with my boyfriend for 2 years. I'm a vegetarian and a big fan of vegetables. I don't consider it a meal unless there's some sort of vegetable on my plate. My boyfriend is a big meat eater, and he's not a big fan of veggies. He eats it, but it isn't his favorite, and there are a couple that he completely avoids, like peppers and carrots. We're both fine with that. Neither of us have big issues with each other's diets, but it's a bit difficult to make a homemade meal for the both of us. I refuse to buy or make anything with meat for my boyfriend, which he understands and respects. Usually, we end up making 2 separate dinners, or making something easy like burgers, etc., where we can put whatever we want on them. I have a recipe for veggie lasagna, which I really enjoy. It's basically all vegetables in sauce, squash, peppers, carrots, onions, spinach, etc. And I have made it for some of my friends who love it. Last week, he wanted to try the lasagna because he wants to know what we're talking about. I said, of course I can make it for you, but I don't think that you'll like it because it contains mostly vegetables and some that you don't even like. He insisted that I made it, so I did. With a few adjustments, I took out the peppers and carrots. When we sat down to eat, I didn't have high expectations of his response, but I never imagined the words that actually came out of his mouth. He said it was disgusting. He doesn't get how anyone can eat this garbage, and he would rather die than have to eat this for the rest of his life. Those were his exact words that he said, and he went on for a 10-minute rant about how ridiculous I am for actually wanting to eat this over a meat lasagna. Having lost my appetite, I left the table in tears. We don't live together, and this was at my place. I didn't want to kick him out, so I simply went into the living room to calm down. He came in to eventually apologize, and I said that it was really hurtful, and since he hates my food so much, I will never cook for him again. I have stood my ground, and he seems regretful, but I don't know if I can get past this. Alright folks, what do you think?
Not the jerk. And although, as Brian is reading this, all I can think about is like the Stovers, Veggie Lovers lasagna. So I have a hankering for lasagna. But yeah, what he did is completely unexcusable. Like, he begged Opie to make this dish for him. And like, if he didn't like it, he could have politely been like, oh, sorry, this really isn't my cup of tea.
Yeah.
But he went on a rant insulting not only Opie's cooking, but also like her preferences. Like, how could you like this over meat lasagna? Like, he insulted her food, he insulted her. This is not how a good partner behaves.
You know what I say? I say he gets no presents. None are going under the tree for him. His present was a lasagna, and he's not getting any more. I don't know. I feel bad for poor OP in this situation. She went through this huge effort to make this lasagna. She told him, she's like, look, you're not going to like this lasagna, but I'll make it for you anyways. And so she went out of her way, she made this lasagna, and the thanks that she gets is him deriding her, being like, oh, you have garbage taste. Yeah, I mean, he's ungrateful. Don't cook for him again.
Exactly.
The trouble is, at this point in time, he's done pretty severe damage to this relationship. Well, you just can't go up in front of your partner and start saying things like that and expect that your relationship is going to be perfectly fine afterwards, right?
Right. Like, you know, even as time goes on, like, I can imagine OP just like wondering, is he going to like start yelling at me again because I like this thing or that thing?
When's the next time he's going to go off on you and be like, you have terrible taste. Just start eating meat with me. I mean, that's basically what he said right then, right? He's like, oh, I don't know why you wouldn't eat meat over this. Because she's a vegetarian guy. I don't understand why you would think that she would eat meat. And there isn't really a good solution because he's just, while he's apologized, it's one of those things where you can't take your words back.
No,
you know?
the damage has already been done.
And that's how life is sometimes. Sometimes you say stuff and you just can't take it back. So always be careful what you say. But let me know what you folks think. So anyhow, take care and good luck. And Veronica Sawyer 8 says, how old is he? I would guess 12 by his behavior, not the jerk. And OP replies, he's 30. 30 is too old to have a temper tantrum. And Canadian 1 says, so was he saying it like half joking? I have a hard time believing that he asked you to make it for him, and presumably everything was going fine that day. Everyone's happy and in a good mood, and then he turns all insulting and saying it was disgusting and he would rather die than eat it. I mean, he was mocking the vegetables, like, why would someone pick this over meat? Or was he truly being a jerk and insulting you? Anyways, not the jerk for being hurt, that he got a little too graphic with his dislikes of vegetables, and he wasn't sensitive to the fact that you actually took the time to do this for him. I do think that this will pose a problem for your relationship. If you refuse to cook meat for him, or ever, if your threat sticks, and presumably he won't ever cook for you, so you're gonna spend 50 years making single-person meals. I mean, okay, but that doesn't sound like a lot of fun. And OP replies, I wish he were half joking, but no, he was actually kind of yelling. He does have big mood swings sometimes where everything is perfect and then suddenly it's garbage. And he's never insulted me like this before. I think that this really calls for therapy on his part. Like, I
Mm-hmm.
think that if he has gigantic mood swings like this could be a sign of some other mental health struggle,
Yeah.
and that this is certainly something that he needs to go to a therapist about.
Right, either that or anger management, which again would need therapy, but
Yeah.
he needs to confront his behavior because it's not okay and it's abusive.
Yeah. Like him actually yelling about this and stuff like that. Like that's actually kind of scary, right? At a
Mm-hmm.
certain point. Like I imagine him saying it like kind of like sarcastically but not necessarily yelling. But the fact that he was like getting and actually yelling about this, like that's a scary situation to be in, right? So yeah, I think that OP maybe you should put some brakes on this relationship. Tell him that he needs to go work on himself in therapy, and when he, figures himself out, if he can figure himself out, then maybe give him another chance in the future. But I don't think that this is a good relationship right now, and it
Mm-hmm.
sounds like it's turning into an abusive relationship. All right, folks, it is tea time. Grab your beverages of choice. I've got some tea right here, and Amber, she has our favorite guest of the day, Jovial Bob sign, and another Frankenstein joke.
No, no Frankenstein. What did the police do when the monster took the freeway to town?
They probably took him, that they probably chased after them and laughed in stitches because it was actually Frankenstein who was in the car. And then, yeah.
They made him put it back. The monster took the freeway to town.
Oh, you know. Is this the same one that ate, like, Ohio?
Probably.
This all happened in Ohio, folks. And I have licorice spice.
You know why it probably Ohio is used in his jokes. That's where Jovial Bobstein's from.
Yeah, maybe he just doesn't like Ohio.
Or maybe he just likes to poke fun at his home state.
Yeah. All right, folks, that's all the time we have for today. Thank you so much for watching. Happy Saturday, spectacular Saturday even. Amber, we need some kind of moral advice and or guidance. And please, have it an explanation on why lazy llamas would even leap.
I don't think it will be immoral at that point.
Yeah, I just need an explanation.
Oh, well, because they are told that they will get. Do llamas like carrots? I think they do. We'll assume llamas. Let's assume this lazy llama really loves carrots. And so they're told that they can have a carrot if they leap. So they kind of give a half hearted leap so they can get the carrot. Because, like, their desire for carrots overcomes their desire for being lazy, the inertia.
I guess that's it, folks. I guess that's it. Give a llama a carrot and it'll jump for you. I don't know if that's true, but Amber certainly thinks it is. Thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you all tomorrow.
Bye.